Welcome everyone to another edition of Endgame Finance. Today we'll be talking about the Cybertruck, Ford versus Rivian rivalship, and how the whole industry is shaping up in the electric vehicle space. Now, first off, we have some initial pictures of the Cybertruck. It's been spotted on the street. Some people have taken a few photos of driving it, and it's not good. Look, there's good and there's not good. This is not good. The vehicle basically looks like a funeral recession car. It looks like it's dragging a coffin in the back. The front of the vehicle actually looks pretty decent, but like I said, the back is very boxy. It looks like a Lego truck just driving around, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I would personally be embarrassed to be seen driving in that vehicle, especially if I have to pay over $50,000 for something that basically looks like a funeral recession truck. Now, this is good news for Rivian and Ford, because Rivian and Ford primary product is actually a truck they're pushing onto the markets. Trucks, SUVs are extremely popular. They're the best-selling vehicles on the market today. And Rivian and Ford are basically battling it out with Tesla to capture the electrification of the SUV market. And so far, it looks like actually Rivian is winning, although Ford has tried to slow down their progress. Ford has basically tried to destroy them. This is how they did it. Basically, Ford acquired a 10% stake in Rivian Corporation. They decided to build a joint product and a joint production line. And then at the last minute, Ford actually realized Rivian actually might disrupt their entire Ford F-150 truck market. Ford F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle, best-selling SUV for the last 46 years. Now, these guys just realized basically, if we lose the Ford F-150 market to Rivian, Ford is pretty much done. Ford is really struggling. Ford just hit a 6-year record low in sales. Deals on their vehicles are worsening. Stock is in absolute shambles. And it looks like this American icon is actually failing. And Rivian was potentially the final nail in that coffin just to put them out of the business. So what Ford did was basically start dumping Rivian shares on the open market. They waited for a company to go IPO. And then once we entered the bear market, they started dumping massive amounts of shares just to create an excessive selling pressure on the stock, which, as we see, has weighed down the stock of Rivian tremendously. They're down over 70% since their peak. But the good news is Ford is actually finished selling their shares. That's right. Ford has dumped 91 million shares last year. Like I said, that creates a tremendous pressure on the stock, and especially in the bear market. It just accumulates more and more negativity, and we can see the result of just basically Rivian collapsing. Now, what Ford did was it was very brilliant, because just by destroying the Rivian stock, it limits Rivian's ability to raise cash with a secondary stock offering, because it's much less advantageous to raise at $17 billion valuation as opposed to 40, 60, or even $100 billion market cap, which Rivian actually did hit initially before Ford just massively started unloading Rivian shares and just dumping them onto the market. You can't blame the Ford Corporation, because they're just looking out for themselves. They're looking out for the shareholders. It is actually the right thing to do, to try to stumble, just to basically trip up your competition. Because like I said, if Ford loses the electric F-150 truck to Rivian, Ford is pretty much finished. That's the last stand that Ford is making. Now, with a lot less selling pressure on the Rivian stock this year, we can estimate there should be some potential recovery. It all really depends on the production numbers that Rivian will release on February 28. Their guidance will determine how well the stock performs for the rest of the year. They have to guide somewhere between 60 and 80,000 units produced this year, and they have to guide 100,000 units produced next year. And 100,000 is minimum. They should really be hitting around 150,000 vehicles produced next year, because if these numbers are not met, it's very likely that Rivian will actually go bankrupt, because their overhead costs are so huge that they're still losing money in every single truck they produce. So they have to up the production substantially. They cannot stay in this level and survive. And if they do not up this production within 2 years, they will be bankrupt. Now, what I really like about Rivian, they have extremely good quality. They're basically the Apple of electric vehicles. Tesla, I would say, is probably Android. So we have an Apple and Android situation where Android is actually flooded the market. It's much more popular, but we have Apple, which is much higher quality and is slowly, not initially, but eventually just basically took over the market from Android, basically absorbed all those customers because they offer such high quality. And that's also true with Rivian trucks. Rivian is one of the highest quality vehicles ever produced. If you don't believe me, look at Doug DeMuro's videos about Rivian. Doug DeMuro is a YouTuber that reviews vehicles professionally. He also has his cars and bids business. But just look at the review of R1S or R1T or even the EDV, which is a delivery vehicle, and it becomes obviously clear that these are some of the highest quality produced vehicles ever. That's what I really love about Rivian. They are the Apple of vehicles. Another thing which I really like, Rivian just recently announced they're actually developing an electric bike. And some people don't see this as a big deal, but it's actually huge because micromobility will be dominant in the future. If you look at European cities, especially Amsterdam, they have around 70% of bikes on the streets. Basically, 70% of their transport is just bicycles. There's no need for vehicles in densely built cities where a simple e-bike will just allow them to do that few miles to go to work and go back, few miles to go to shop. And I expect the e-bikes to be one of the most dominant modes of transportation in the future. And I'm really excited that Rivian is actually building this bike. I really hope they prioritize production of their SUVs and their delivery trucks. But this is a very welcome news for investors because this will be a high margin business, much easier to build, much easier to ship. So I can see these guys doing millions of units in e-bikes even before they hit millions of units of SUVs and EDVs. So as this year the competition will really heat up, we will have the Ford F-150 electric versus Rivian versus the Cybertruck. Like I said, Cybertruck has really underwhelmed. They've not delivered on the initial coolness, initial hype. It looks very boxy. Like I said, it looks like a funeral procession car. I just don't see it being popular. I do see people driving it a lot just because Elon Musk put his name on it. Elon Musk can pee in a bucket and sell it as lotion. He is the best salesman ever in the history of business. He just is. So I can still see Cybertruck doing massive production, massive sales, but not at the level where it becomes a dominant SUV, it becomes a dominant truck. That spot I can see probably Rivian taking it and Ford coming in second, mostly because Rivian is, like I said, extremely high quality, but also designed for more modern looks, whereas Ford is an old-fashioned truck for business. And then we have a Cybertruck, which is sort of a punk style. It's not for everyone. But if you look at the whole category with all three vehicles, I would say that Rivian R1S and R1T are still the best electric vehicles, at least electric SUVs on the market today. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, please leave it below. And as always, subscribe, like, and share, and have a great day.